Today I want to cover a topic about mistakes in setting boundaries. And I want to start off with a story of mine of a client who came to me one day and said, "Why does my family keep treating me like this?" And I simply looked at her and I said, "We train people how to treat us." And she nearly fell off her chair. Her face was kind of a mix between shock and disbelief. "How could that be true?" she asked. "What exactly does your family do to make you feel this way?" And so she sighed in frustration and said, "They're always taking advantage of me. They're asking for money, asking me to watch their kids, asking. And they never stop. And the truth is, they don't care about what I want or what I need. It's always all about them." And so I asked her this key question, "And what do you say to them when they do this?" And her response, "Nothing." I paused and then I said, "This is exactly what I mean. By saying nothing, you're training them that it's okay to treat you this way. Silence is permission." And do you know the hardest part of all of this? They're not going to change until you change. She sat there just stunned as the weight of those words slowly sank in. This lesson that we train people how to treat us is incredibly important to learn. And the way that we do this is through the boundaries that we set, or the boundaries we don't set. If we never say no, people will assume that they can keep asking. If we never tell people that their behavior is harmful, they assume it's acceptable. But here's the thing, boundaries are hard. Setting them takes courage and consistency. And a lot of people struggle with this because they make a few mistakes. Let's talk about the three biggest mistakes people make when they set boundaries. First of all, they set boundaries, but they don't enforce them. A boundary without a follow-through is like drawing a line in the sand and then letting the tide wash it away. For example, if you tell somebody, "I'm not available to lend you money," and then just give in right away when they ask again, you've taught them that your boundary isn't real. The other thing that I would say about enforcing boundaries is so many people think that, well, if I yell loud enough, then that counts for setting a boundary. That is not setting a boundary. The only thing that is doing is yelling at somebody. When you set a boundary and somebody violates the boundary, there has to be a consequence. Yelling at somebody 99% of the time is not going to have enough of a consequence to stop them from violating your boundary. The second mistake people make is they set the boundary from a place of anger or frustration. This often happens when we let the resentment build up for too long. Instead of calmly stating what our needs are, what happens is we lash out. Wah! Right? "You always take advantage of me." And this may feel satisfying in the moment, to just blow off some steam, but it rarely leads to any kind of productive change. Instead, boundaries work best when they're communicated calmly and firmly, not with emotion. The third mistake that people often make when they set boundaries is they think that magically that other people are just going to start respecting their boundaries, and that's simply not true. Here's the hard truth. People won't always like your boundaries. They may push back. They may test them. That's normal. Remember this. Your job isn't to make everybody happy. It's to stand firm in what you know is right for you. So then the question is, okay, Mike, well, how do I do this right? First of all, it starts with knowing your own value and worth. You deserve to be treated with respect by everybody. And you are the one who needs to teach this to others, what that looks like for you, because it's different for everybody. My suggestion is start small, saying no in low stakes situations. Get comfortable with a little discomfort. That's part of the process. That's how you learn to eventually set big boundaries. By setting the small no's, it makes it more comfortable when you have to set the big ones. And most importantly, just be consistent. Boundaries only work if you honor them yourself, which means if somebody is violating one of your boundaries, you're the one that has to say no. If there's one thing that I hope that you take away from this, it's this. You have more power in you than you realize to shape the way that people treat you. It starts with speaking up, standing firm, and refusing to let guilt or fear keep you silent. Because the truth is, when you teach people how to treat you with respect, they'll start to do it. And then you'll wonder why you waited so long to take that first step. I hope this helped. Have a great day.